David.
How are you?
Not too bad. Good to see you. Just because most of the main jumps straight away was Aaron Conley coming back down. Just kind of talking through the process of speaking on him and how he is about it coming back.
Yeah, look, Aaron, with regards to international football, he's been sort of a little bit of driftwood, you know, at the minute where, you know, he wasn't obviously with senior team or the 21s, and it was actually you know, we done an interview a number of weeks ago that I looked at and I said, he showed a level of maturity in his interview. He seemed remorseful with regards to how he behaved, whether it was at Brighton or what have you. And it was something that just got me thinking. And I got somebody involved in the process to link in with him and just ask the question, would he be interested to play with the 21s? And you know, the answer I got back was yes, certainly. He wants to put on a green shirt again. So that was a fantastic start. And then I've rang Aaron a few times. We had a number of conversations. We had a Zoom call there yesterday. I just think it's important to stress to him and underline to him, you know, what got us to the playoffs. You know, the group of players we have been, you know, fantastic up to now, but I think we all know what Aaron can bring to any football squad. He's, you know, he can score goals, he's a real threat, and to have him with the 21 for this particular game is great. And for himself, it's a chance to show people that he's still around, you know, he can produce on big games, and this is what this playoff is. It's a fantastic stage for him to be involved in.
And at that point you make about speaking to him, what got you to this point as well? I'm guessing that's something you would have had a way out, as talented as he is, not kind of constructing the actual, maybe, I don't know, the dynamics of the squad.
Yeah, but it's international football. I think that's first and foremost, and yeah, you're always interested in the best players that you can possibly get into your squad. And we've a small pool of players. We're a small country. We've a small pool of players in anyway, so we can't neglect players of that talent and ability and cast them aside. You know, it's an opportunity for him, as I said already, to prove his worth, that he wants to play for the Republic of Ireland. You know, and here's a great platform and stage for him to show Stephen that he's ready to go back into the senior team, because what he brings to the squad here, he's a number of senior caps. He's played in the Premiership. He's scored goals in the Premiership. So, you know, players in the 21 squad, and with the young squad, you know, can learn from that.
Just the final one for me on Aaron, like the point that you said about the interview he gave, and he spoke kind of very honestly. But sometimes it can be easy for to hear you not speak like that, but then when it comes to actually putting it into action, not doing it, the fact that you had that conversation with him, it shows that he has got his head.
Yeah, and look, talk is cheap, and I think people can throw around big words about, you know, togetherness, teamship, trust, honesty, but you got to action those words. And you know, we've had, as I said, a few conversations about that, and that's what anybody who's been selected with the 21s, you know, illustrated those values that we spoke about. And you know, Aaron's no different. You know, no matter how high profile he is, or you know what he's done at Brighton Football Club and what have you, he's got to come in and he's part of the group here. Thank you.
Andrew?
Yeah, Jim, obviously there's a couple of players like partners,
Gavin's injured, yeah. Gavin's had an MRI scan. He's got a grade 2 tear in his knee, and he'll be out for quite a few weeks. But with Gav, because he's injured, you know, Ocean McAtee's injured as well. Joel Bagan is just coming back after a tight hamstring. You know, we've said, look, if you want to come into the squad like Collie Whelan as well, he's still recovering from his ACL injury. You know, they're more than welcome to come in and be part of the group on that day, because I think that's important, because players like Gav, he's been here from the start, and we've had a couple of rough periods during the campaign, and that's when you're seeing real character with the likes of Gav and Hussein. Particularly, look, we lost to Montenegro, then we played at home to Italy, and you know, to turn that around takes character, and that's what those boys have, lots of character, so, you know, they've got to be part of the group.
Obviously, Joe Redmond in the squad as well. Obviously, it's obviously done quite well in the past this season. So, I suppose you.
Yeah, I think he's done better than quite well. I think he's been fantastic with Pat. I've seen him numerous times, and I think getting a gauge on somebody playing European football, you know, against good European opposition, and to see how well he done was definitely got my head turning in his direction. But as well as that, like he's now captain of St. Pat's, which shows the character that he has. And look, it's always difficult, you know. He was released from Birmingham Football Club, and you know, to come back, you know, it's a real difficult period in a young man's head, you know, because we all know that when you go over, it's your dream come true. But being released, you have to show real resilience, and that's what he did. And you know, going from there to captain St. Pat's Athletic is a fantastic achievement, and fully deserved with his performances.
Yeah, I suppose just lastly, I mean, obviously Evan Ferguson's, you know, obviously quite impressive. I suppose he's kind of done last one to Brighton. What have you made of his start to the season?
Sorry?
Evan Ferguson.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose he kicked on the last couple of weeks and months in the pre-season with Brighton. What have you made of it?
Evans, we all know, you know, Evans is a real high potential. You know, he scored a hat-trick there 2 weeks ago against Leicester in the 21. And Evan, the important thing about Evan, he's very grounded. He's very mature. I met him. I went over to the UK a number of weeks ago and I met him, and we had a good conversation. And you know, he's always trying to improve his game. He loves football. He's so settled and happy at Brighton. And that's a really, really good foundation for him to go and develop. You know, he showed us, the under-21 staff, how quickly he improved, because we had him in one particular camp, and yes, you know, he did really well for us, but then a number of months later, he's training with the first team, he's been in around the first team on the bench and what have you, then he comes into us. And he was outstanding in training, and you've seen we put him on against Bosnia and Montenegro, and how he lit the place up and how he changed the whole tempo of the game when he came on. And he certainly deserved a starting place against Italy, and even done well against Italy in a really tough environment. So, you know, Evans come a long way, and again I have to stress he's a player with high potential, you know. So he's got good coaches in Brighton. They've a good sort of development plan for him going forward, and you know, I'm just looking forward to working with him again for the next 10 days or so.
John?
Thank you.
Yeah, Jim, can you just tell us about the new lad Finn has, and also Luca is not new, but he hasn't been around for a little while.
Yeah, Finn. Finn, when I was the under-18s head coach, he was on the radar. And when he was at West Brom, and look, I didn't bring him into the squad for whatever reason, you know, because you've got to pick 18 players at that level, and you know, over the last couple of years, he was in Newport last season, young player of the year in League Two, the EFL team of the season. I went to see him play a few times this year, and he's been excellent. He's an attacking midfielder. He's clever. He picks those pockets of space. Like, it's not like he gets attracted to the ball. He's a real mature player, and above all, he can score goals. I spoke to Jane Nash, who used to work in the association that's gone to Aston Villa as a coach, and he spoke highly of him. Because again, you want to learn about players' characters, and he said, he's a fantastic individual, and he's playing. He played the other night. I seen the game against Oxford, and I thought he was excellent in a really good Plymouth team. So again, I'm looking forward to working with him, and I think he'll bring real value to the squad. Luca Connell, I rang Luca during the week because myself and Luca, we crossed paths last summer. We brought him to Marbella, and with Luca, he was with Celtic at the time. He went on loan to a team in the third tier in Scotland, and I just didn't think that was great for his development, and he agreed. And he was able to turn everything around when he went to Barnsley, and he's playing every week again. I went to see him play against Ipswich, who were top of the league in League One, and he done really well. And it's he's got a fantastic left foot. He's a great passer of the ball. He's aggressive, and again, he's another player that I think, had he been with Barnsley a lot earlier, he would have been involved in our squads a lot more. But he's over the moon to be involved. Both his grandparents are from Dublin, and I do know that his nan will be exceptionally proud that he's part of the under-21s international game against Israel.
Anyone else for the live section? If not, we'll jump straight to the embargoes.
Yeah, just one more, just on that, just checking, like, I know there's a bit of talk about the long contract and the issue, what's happening there, is any update on that?
Still negotiating, that's where we're at. Look, I just have the ability to be focused on this under-21s game, so that's where my focus is, and I have a real narrow focus on that at the minute. And I'm sure it'll get done sooner rather than later, but at this point in time, I'm definitely concentrating on these two games coming up.
David, this for the live or embargo?
Is that embargoed?
That was for last night.
Alright, no worries. Is it for live? Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Are you frustrated with how it's kind of hanging over the camp for the next few weeks? Is it frustrated that it's not being done cleared up before this?
Look, in an ideal world, yes, you'd like it done, but it's not, and these things happen in life, and you're negotiating, and it's certainly not going to bother me. Certainly, these games are too big to be worried about that. I know something's going to get done. I do that. I'm confident we'll come to an agreement. But at this stage, nothing's been done. But I've parked that up now. There's other people dealing with it. But for me, at this point in time, nothing's going to get in my way of preparing for Israel.
Thanks,
Yeah, go on.
Jim, just on Aaron, how's he getting on the club level? Like, he started to come off the bench too, and have you chatted about that? Have you seen much footage of how he's...
Yeah, I've seen Aaron's games, and a couple of games he came off. He looked sharp, and the weekend he played against Spal, and it was a difficult game for him. And there wasn't too much football played. Like, for somebody like Aaron, you need to get the ball to his feet, or he'll come and show for the ball, but he's looking for one in behind. So there was a lot of miscommunication with regards to midfielders and what have you, giving the ball away. And I could see Aaron was a little bit frustrated with that. But what pursued from that is Aaron was ill Monday and Tuesday, so I don't know, did that hamper his fitness levels because he came off then. But one thing about him, he's delighted at the club. He gets on really well with the manager, and they train exceptionally hard. He said he's never been as fit before in his life. They do numerous double sessions. I think it's the Italian way, but he's happy with it. And going over there was a big decision for him, but he needed to get away from distractions and what have you. And he's in a happy place now. And as they say, a happy footballer is a good footballer. So I think he'll come in, and we've got him in a nice place coming into the 21s now.
You've used a lot of different players up front, you've mixed and matched, so does that give you a bit of comfort that he can slot in at such short notice for such a big game?
Yeah, he could slot in, but we also have, we've got forwards such as JJ Chiodi and Meepo, Evan Ferguson. So you've got 4 top strikers there that we see how they are on the build up to the game, and we've got to make a decision on the back of that. And Aaron is aware of that, and I said it to him, look, it's not a case of coming here and starting. You've got to prove to us that you're ready to play for the 21s, because as I've said to him, this is the first time in 17 attempts that the 21s have got this far, and it's on the back of players performing well, yes, but a real togetherness in the group, and he needs to come in and slot in, dovetail in as smoothly as possible, because that's what we're about with the 21s, and I do think that he will. I had to have a Zoom call with him, I had to see him face to face. I couldn't get over to Italy, but he's, he was genuine about everything he said.
That's for the live section. I'll kick off with the embargoed, and
Is that for the embargo now?
no problem if that's when embargo go from there.
That's right.
Everyone happy with that?
Thanks.
Mark, will you kick off?
Yeah, just, I mean, how much of a sense of history are you feeling right now?
To create history, or
Yeah.
look, I think it's exciting for the players to be involved in games like this, to create some history, and they're all aware of it. You talk to any of the players now, all the conversations I've had with the players, and that's what they want to do. You know, they want to go and who's that?
You right, John?
Sorry, I can't hear you, but
But no, you speak to any of the players now, and that's on the forefront of their minds is creating history. But the bigger picture is to get to Georgia and Romania and compete in the finals against top nations. You know, on a stage where you'll be challenged, but there's no doubt about it, you'll improve. Whether it's technically, tactically, from that whole experience. And that's what the players are looking forward to most now is, it's a serious test, these two games coming up, but if we can get over that, it's an unbelievable experience it is going to be for them.
Israel you can see as one of the more favourable draws. What are your impressions of them? What can you tell us about them?
Yeah, Israel they're a physical team. They're well organised, mixed with some really talented players. There's about 5 players who've gone and played with the senior team. I'd imagine some of them are coming back. I know the boy Abada has played with the 21s in this campaign, but he's played with Celtic, scored a couple of goals with Celtic. I don't know will he come back, but they're a talented team, and it's by no means going to be an easy game. You only have to look at their campaign where they played against Germany twice, got beaten by the odd goal in both games, and Germany in one of the games scored 2 late goals to win the game 3-2. So it's not going to be an easy task, and they played against Poland, beat Poland, and drew with Poland. So there's so much pedigree there in any way, and competing against Germany, beating Poland, drawing with Poland, and overcoming Hungary as well in the group to come second and earning a playoff spot. So it's going to be a challenging game, but look, again, we look forward to it.
Sorry, just so with me, Will Smallbone's on his, I suppose, his most prolific run of first team matches. What have you made of him so far this season?
This season with Stoke,
Yeah.
he's done well. He's done well. Look, I think there was a couple of games under Michael O'Neill where they were tough games for him, and his performance, and he'll admit it himself, was only okay. But Alex Neil has come in at Stoke, and he played there the other night against Hull, and he was excellent. So, but Will, that doesn't surprise me with Will. He's as everybody in here has seen, he's a talented player. He's on Stephen's radar, he's on everybody's radar because of the talent he possesses. But looking forward to him coming in. He's one more game the weekend, so it's away to QPR. So hopefully, touch wood, he comes through that, and we've got a fully fit Will to be part of our group.
So just on conversation with Steve, were there any conversations with Steve about senior players who still qualify for 21s?
No. Look, the only one really I touched base with Stephen beforehand about Aaron Conley. That was it, because as I said before, those senior players who are eligible to play with the 21s. You know, they're happy there. They're playing first team football with their clubs. And, you know, I've said it numerous times about the story when, you know, we were preparing for the big game against Italy in the last campaign, and I had to sit down with both Jason and Darrell O'Shea and say that I got a call from Stephen to say he's promoted, and their eyes lit up, and rightly so, because it's every young boy's dream and ambition to play with the Irish senior team. So that was the last I've seen of the two boys. Never been back since. But that's it. They're good enough to be there. You know, Jason's playing every week with Derby County, and Darrell O'Shea. You know, he's been captain with West Brom. We had Andrew Owen back in Delhi in our first game against Wales when we were preparing for this campaign, and he was unbelievable in the game. So he got called up to the senior team, rightly so, and it's that's the name of the game with the 21s. It's the name of the game. It's okay if the senior team manager sees that they'll play a part in the senior squad. You know, I'm happy with that.
John?
How are you?
Good, thanks. It can be difficult for a player to come in. You've spoken a lot before about how this group is so tight-knit and so kind of close. It's Aaron's first under 21 kind of features in 3 years. Was there any risk that he'd upset that balance, or are you kind of confident he'd only add to that?
I'm confident he'll add to it, but it's my job to make sure that the balance is there, because you know, Aaron can't come in and think he's beyond this, you know, and we've had that conversation, and he's, you know, he was certainly forthright in his views that no, he wants to be part of it, and he's prepared to come work hard and train him and see where that takes him. You know, whether you play the first leg, second leg, of the toy, we'll see. But as I say, in international football, if you've got a player with outstanding ability there that you can bring into the group, you know, why not? You know, but I do think it was important to have those conversations with Aaron before any decision was made.
Was he in your thoughts before you watched the interview?
Look, he was flowing about. You know, he certainly was saying, okay, we're next for Aaron, and I was happy to see him. Look, I've seen him play with Middlesbrough a couple of times, and he just done okay, you know, and I'm sure he'd admit that. But I think he was saying he was sort of in a dark place with his football at that stage. But now you talk to him, he's happy, he's away from all that distractions that were holding him back. So, you know, I'm delighted he's part of the group, and I do think he'll add so much to our pursuit to qualify for the finals.
Just final one from me, just a word on Andy Lyons, if that's okay. He's in the form of his career this season, like he must be set to play a key role this month for you.
Yeah, Andy, come here, I've seen Andy play so many times, and you know, I don't know, we might play him up top, you know what I mean, with the amount of goals he scored, but he's done fantastic playing left wing back, you know, but again, it suits him when he can come in from the outside into the inside to his stronger foot, and you've seen the goal that he scored against Finn Harps the weekend. But yeah, he's scoring goals, he's playing well, he's on a crest of a wave, you know, there's a move there that's going to happen in January to Blackpool where he's going to play championship football, so he's in a great place. But we've all got a little snapshot of everybody that's coming into the squad, you know, because all the players now are, you know, you've got Evan Ferguson, you know, Finn Azaz, you know, Brian Mars playing well, David Harrington, goalkeeper, who's on the verge of being promoted to the top division of our domestic league. So everybody's got a feel-good story coming in.
Thanks.
David, and I'll come on to you.
Jim, just you said you liaised with Stephen Kenny over the Aaron Connolly situation. Did you talk to him about Festi Abasali as well? He's dropped down to the senior squad into the 21s.
Yeah, look, he just mentioned that Festi would be available for you, you know, so look, Festi's somebody that, you know, he hasn't played that much with Udinese this year, you know, he came off the bench play against AC Milan, but we had a look at his training numbers, his data, and as I said before, they're training exceptionally hard over in Italy, and he's had good numbers, but no, he hasn't played that much football, but it is an unbelievable league. He's in Serie A, he's playing in, so it's always going to be a real challenge for him to play week in, week out. But yeah, no, look, I knew we'd an opportunity to get Festi back, and Festi's, you know, I think he's a player that with his pace, his power, can create goal scoring opportunities. So again, it's fantastic to have him in the squad.
Yeah, just, are you happy that he's gone to Italy for his development, or would you prefer him to stay maybe and play in England?
I spoke to him before he went and he was delighted to go, so that's a starting point that he's happy to go there. And you're hoping that he's working with good coaches, he's training with really good players week in, week out. Yeah, that'll help him, but I think ultimately players need to be playing football, you know, so it can be a little bit frustrating looking at Festi not getting enough game time, but he's one with seriously high potential. Like, he can go and play for us in the next campaign that's coming up. So, you know, it's to answer your question, you know, in an ideal world, you'd like to see him playing week in, week out, whether that was with Derby or what have you. He's gone to Serie A, unbelievable league, and he's still yet to break in, but hopefully, sooner rather than later, he'll get into that squad.
Thanks, gentlemen. Best luck for the...
Thank you very much.
Hey, Jim.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Just looking at Israel's results, many at home. I think that 1-0 Germany game you mentioned is the only one in the last year or so. How important is it to kind of get a result in Dublin?
Yeah, it's important to get a result there in Tala, but you know, look, it's a cliche, it's only half time then, so even if you get a result, you still have a lot of work to do going over to Tel Aviv, and if you're on the wrong side of the result, you've more work going to their stadium. But look, they're very good. They are a very good team. You only have to look at their 19s who qualified for the under-19s European finals against England. They went 1-0 up, and I think England left it late to equalise, and then it went into extra time. So it shows that there's good pedigree there with the Israeli team, and you know, Tala, we just need a full stadium, that's for sure. We need bums on seats, and you know, I stress that if anybody's bought a ticket, you know, turn up, you know, and it's what we need. We need people to get behind us in this game, you know.
Just finally, I think, did they have a change of management?
Yes.
So I think they played like 2 games with us.
Correct.
Is that difficult to analyse in that if a new management team or?
Yeah, look, we went and seen that manager with his club team, what systems he plays and what have you. So, you know, okay, he's had 2 games. Played against San Marino and Lafayette in the 2 games. So, there's not much he can get from it there from his perspective. But it's the players, more or less, are in and around the same group of players, and I can see him getting possibly some of the more senior players. There's a left back Levner, Gondelman, you know, I don't know about Abada, but the players like that, I could see them probably stepping back and playing to 21s. Thank you.
Anybody else? Philip, please. From yourself?
I think it's been very comprehensive. I was going to ask one, probably the same one, but it's Aaron Conley. Is this like a step back, take 2 steps forward, Jim? Can you see him using the 21 as the platform, get back to the seniors? Does he see that?
Does he see it? Of course he sees that, yeah, it is. And you know, I'd say it's, you know, probably would have been very frustrating for him in this September window to be back in Italy training while, you know, the senior team have got 2 big games and the 21s have got 2 big games, you know. So for him to feel part of it, it's a stepping stone for him. And we know that because he's a player with immense quality, and it's really up to himself. Come here, grab it with both hands, and then hopefully in the next window there's an opportunity to go back to the senior team. Is that okay?
Anyone else? If not, wrap it up there, guys.
Yeah, I just like something.
Oh yeah, sure, go on, Dave.
Yeah, just for Sunday, like,
Yeah, sure. Or,
one-on-one, or if anyone else wants to do it.
Yeah, can we do something?
absolutely. We'll go and set that up now. Thanks, all.
Thanks guys, thank you.